Morning, guys. Hope you see the charts. Hope you can hear me all right. A couple of little these emojis. Get the hang of this. So you can teach the old dog new tricks. Good stuff. Remember once, years ago, an 80-year-old guy, he knew his computers. I was quite impressed. Not that I'm 80, guys. If I was, I'd be the President of the United States, wouldn't I? You thought of that. To all get a job if you're over 50, but you're too young to get a job unless you're over 80, if you want to be the president of the free world, eh? But you never thought it like that before, eh? Yeah, exactly. No, you can't. Sorry, can't have a job as the most powerful person on the planet. You're far too. Can I get a nice little admin job? Oh no, you're far too old. Maybe I'm just being bitchy because I'm chronologically challenged. Good morning. Right, a terrible one. Cody, thanks for starting me off on that. A terrible one. You know, Morris, just letting him in now, had the sense to look at it higher up. I should go over that. Speaks coming up now fast. GBPJPY. In retrospect, that was probably the better time to sell, but I can tell you right now, that's the best time to buy the day after. That's the problem. That's the best time to buy the day after. But anyway, we sold there. It seemed to make sense at the time. Now it looks like that. But even so, there's a few buyers. 9 o'clock. What's that? That's a good point. 9 o'clock. Sorry. Good day, guys. Sorry about going in saying hello. Good morning, all. I'll pass. Let's get started. You can unmute and chit chat as much as you like, long as it's on point with the trading room, obviously. We don't want to talk about and interrupting other stuff. Or you can post in the chat line. Always remember, it's a room where we interact. I hate to admit this, but I don't know everything, far from it. So I've got to get reminders from people like Fani or whoever, and Zeth, of course, saying, by the way, can you check this? Oh, I forgot about that. Thanks very much. We try to come out together with stuff. I learn, you learn, we all learn. A lot of good trading ideas came up from the trading room. Never mind what Keone said about yesterday. This is a slight reminder about position sizing, because as you say, they go wrong. And I still think the trade was the right idea. Maybe I'm being stubborn, but in hindsight, it didn't work out. But that's the way you have a position calculator. This looks like a good idea to go in there. In fact, Morris, you're with us now. You called me up and I agreed entirely. I think if you got around this level, you'd be already in profit. But again, it's not getting much follow through. Just look at the pound now. Just a second, because remember on the economic calendar, average earnings slightly down, which I suppose is anti-inflation. I suppose there could be a little bit of positive coming out of that. Sounds crazy, a bit positive coming up. The wages are down slightly. Sounds crazy, eh? Claimant count, not really worried about that one particularly. So yeah. So there might have been a little bit of positive. I think just drifting along. So, you know, to me, I don't know. And remember, there's a new governor that she's naming out. Tried again this morning to remember it. Not that difficult. I'm just terrible with names. And we've got a new governor of the Bank of Japan, and had a bit of effect on the Japanese yen. But his policies are going forward. But that being as it may, without going into too much detail on that, I think there could be some pullback on that. Not to say you jump in now after getting smacked yesterday. But if you did like Miles did, I think you're on the right side of it. But a lot of people psychologically don't want to do it because they've got smacked the day before. But remember, that was the bogey at last hole. We can birdie the next one. And I think Morris, you might be on a birdie here, but who knows? A lot of, I just slightly correct that, Morris. A lot of sideways non-movement. Yeah, you're quite right. And we all know what that is. It's indecision waiting for fundamental news coming out later on today, and people are scared of it. As we said before, you think, well, the US, what's that to do with the pound or the Canadian or the euro? Affects everything. And I totally agree with you, Morris. I absolutely like what the message you said today, and I agree entirely with it. The market's just very nervous. You can't overstate how much emotion plays with everybody, whether you're a pro, you're a beginner, intermediate, doesn't matter. We are emotional creatures, and we get these unknowns. We're frightened of the unknown. We don't mind a bear market. We prefer a bull market, clearly, but we want direction, bear or bull. It's when there's no direction, being led by bigger boys than us with all the fancy PhDs and equipment, and they're not too sure. Well, yeah, that means indication is obviously what do you call it? What do you call it? You know, when you get a lot of people get the disease, not catching. I think the right word now. But yeah, it's what's the right word? It's very the disease spreads. It's what's the word? You know, it's catching. It's not the right word. It's clearly catching. Is the right word. And yeah, so at the moment it's sideways. I don't want to start on a negative note, but I hope you're not expecting great fireworks in the trading up until 3 o'clock today, or 3:30 basically. So just bear that in mind. I'm more than happy to go through the potential what we're going to be doing later on to make sure everyone's got it, because I want people to take part in it and hopefully come out right, and you know, and understand the mechanics of it, understand the basics of it, because again and again and again and again, we're coming up against problems with traders, clients, whatever you like to call the people, where it's not the actual movement of the markets, that's an unknown. It's not fully grasping the basics. You know, it's no good saying I want to be a car engineer or a car mechanic or whatever if you still can't get over the fact what the hell is that funny stick there doing, and what's that one of those pedals on the left doing, what's this clutch thing and changing gear thing. Well, you know, you can't have aspirations to be a car mechanic or a car engineer if you can't get past what the hell the clutch is for, and the you know, the stick, the shift stick, that's American sport, gear lever. You get the point. So we try to go over these, because that will, the guys who take the trouble to come here and spend the time, got to understand these basics. Okay. Now the biggest worry is the US. It had a bit of an effect, Maris, but the major issue there was the US. We'll go back to the one you mentioned earlier on this morning, AUD USD. Let's go to surely get more better idea. Let's try one out chart. See what I mean? It's just drifting. You get it? Up, back down, up, indecision, indecision, it's drifting. And that's not even a dollar. Well, it is a dollar, it's an Aussie dollar. Oh, yes, it's sorry, it's US dollar. But you get the idea. So it's very important. Do this every day, and it's my only language, and I do prattle away. So I'll be rooting, I'll be all hurt. I'm sensitive, but yeah, you can point out, so run it by again, or not sure, or something like that. Some other guys in here are fairly experienced, and I forget myself, and I tend to rush along at their levels. And you're coming to what the hell's he on about? Just bring it back a bit, please do. Then you'll learn. Oh, I mustn't ask that. You might laugh. Well, we all started somewhere. We all made those errors or non-understanding, like anything, with whatever you do. So it's very important you ask these questions. KO is a good example. He's only been doing it months, maybe 2 months. I can't remember. Time goes so quick. And already he's getting a basic hang of it. I want you to all be in this trading room to start getting the hang of the basics of it as soon as possible. Because then you can concentrate on the trading. You can't concentrate on the trading if you're still worried about how do I modify? How do I close my position? What's this economic calendar thing? What does that mean? When he talks about contract size, he's talking about leverage, or he's talking about margin. What's he talking about? These things we can clear up. You know, these things are basics which can be controlled. And if you're trading without knowing those basics, it's like driving a motor car without the speedometer. You don't know you're driving 140 in a 100 zone. The cops won't accept that as an excuse. It's your job to know, or get your speedometer sorted out. You see what I'm trying to say? And it's not, I promise you might think it's because you're new. It's not that difficult. Anybody with a degree out there, it's what we realize, it's not that difficult. It's not even matric level. It's just basics. And the fear involved often shuts you down. Okay. Okay, now that's good. Thank you, Zakini. Now that's what I want. People to come up with that information that I'm working with. Right. The rules are in the trading room. Rules is a bit of a strong word, but it's actually more of a democratic forum where we work together. It's not I am the host, to be fair, but we try and make it democratic. And we need to interact. We've done that. So tick 1 in the first direction. Actually, no, tick 1, you've taken the trouble to join the trading room. Tick 2, you've interacted. So you're already at the end of the game. You started. Brilliant. And look, knowledge saying welcome. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to come back to what I was saying there because this comes first in the trading room. Anything to do with trade discussions. This is a trading room. We've got quiet modes and going down this stuff. So that takes precedence. I need to go to this. AUD, I think it should move upwards if it can breach that. I don't think it'll do anything until we get that CP out, Morris. If it's good for the dollar, then obviously that will come down because the base currency is the AUD, not the dollar. So if the dollar's going to come out strong, then you'd short that. If you're getting the US dollar, Japanese yen, then you'd buy it. You've got to buy or sell the base currency. So if you think the other side of the seesaw is going to be strong, you clearly sell the base currency or vice versa. I wouldn't touch it either way. Anything can happen. Remember, when a powerful fundamental comes out, forget the technicals. A bomb goes off on Parliament or the Union building in Pretoria or whatever in South Africa. Forget technically that the rand's actually a buy. That rand will weaken. Look what happened when Neely was fired by Zuma, and they put one of his what should we call it, henchmen in there. Look, the rand went from about 1617 to about 1920 to the dollar immediately. Forget the technicals, you get the idea. So just be aware. And the US technicals, CPI and the monthly jobs report, you've got to know them. It's very important, and this is important. You learn when you lose money, unfortunately, Tomby. I hate to say this, but that's unfortunately one of the biggest truisms of the human life. We don't learn we're successful. We only seem to learn when we're not successful. That's why I call it paying school fees. If I could rule the world and change that mentality, it'd be great. Where we could learn from when we win, but unfortunately we don't. We learn when we lose. Unfortunately, it's so true, and it's such a pity. It's the way it is. So with each in retrospect, right? The bounce up looked times I could kick myself not buying that. Oh, hang on, it went wrong. Thank God I didn't. We forget the times when we stayed out, thank goodness. You always tend to remember the times. We beat ourselves up. I tell you, I'm bad at it. I'm bad at it, so I can't tell you not to. When you should have done that, but you forget the thank goodness I didn't the previous time. You know what I'm saying? You do 3 or 4 losses on the road, I'm giving this up. You forgot a couple of weeks ago, you had about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 winners on the road. And I still fall in the trap and I get several winners. I've cracked this. I'm on top of it. I got it. Usually that happens about a microsecond before you fall on your face. Just when you think you're going to win the match, the other guy scores a goal, a try, or it's a 6 or whatever. It just I don't know what it is. It's something to do with sod law. But yeah. Try not to add it difficult. I'm very bad at it, so I couldn't be telling you this because I'm telling you, but not going to do it myself. You try and sort of be hard on yourself. You do daft things, of course, and learn for next time. But otherwise, don't blame yourself if things out of control happen. It's not your fault. Okay, come back to Zucchini. Right, guys, Zucchini, well done. Just want to explain. This is a trading room. It's not a trading room. Now, there's 3 separate companies involved here. The Stock Market College, which sells the education package. Then there's the broker, which is Quick Trade. That's the company I work for. And then you have the MetaTrader 5 platform, which you're looking at the moment, a separate company again. So 3 separate companies. Okay, you have a glitch somewhere in UK originally, and now it's international. And there's a lot of brokers who use this platform. The platform gets a glitch. I'm not an admin guy, but I presume might a couple of times ask a mistake. But sometimes it's a problem within the platform. And people get onto Stock Market College and Quick Trade. It's out of our hands. You know what I'm saying? It's like the weather. It's out of your hands. We can't do anything about it until the guys fix it. Now, they're well paid. They're pretty jacked up, and they know and they're onto it. But how long it take to fix depending on the problem, I don't know. So just bear that in mind. Now, coming back to where they're going with that. Oh, that's right. This is a trading room. So to try and come in and say, I know absolutely nothing, but I can't afford to buy knowledge, course, education. So I'll come along in here. I'm not sure that's really going to work, because you're going to come in and get more confused than you start. I have no problem coming in, by the way, but that's the thing. So we're not here to train you. We're here to work on what you've already learned, the theory, through whether you took stock market college or you took BBC college or ABC college or whatever, if you get what I'm trying to come from. So you've got to have those basics. Put it plainly. Let's say you go to university to study maths, but if you haven't been to school at all, you don't know 1 and 1 is 2, you'll be completely lost at first year university, because when you go in there, they assume you have those basics. So you've got to know what lot size is, you've got to know what margin means, you've got to know what leverage means, you've got to understand those basics. Then we can turn that theory into practicality. And I'm pretty sure the Farney and the Marks and the Zeffs and the Anna Maries who bought the course and took the time are going to be very, very unpleased, I know there's no such word, with me if I'm going to spend the next hour or so teaching everyone the basics free of charge. They're going to be highly fed up with it. You get my point. Okay, getting a bit of background noise, so I'm just going to that does anything to do with the training. So please mute yourself. I always say that, people forget. Mute yourself, you're not engaging. If you want to engage verbally, just say, Roger, please unmute, and I'll do it with pleasure. Okay, so the key lead, you've got to have the basics, and one of them is knowing how to operate the platform. Please, I beg of you, 2 things. Never phone up, call up, WhatsApp broker to advice on your demo account. That's the quickest, greatest way to get in the wrong side of the human being anywhere in the world. They're not interested. It's either live or not. If you want to do the demo account, learn how to operate the platform, try a new strategy, and that's it. It teaches you absolutely zero about trading on the demo. It's just self-pedology. Unless you have real money on it, you learn nothing. As Ntombi says, you don't learn from your mistakes on there because it had no impact to you psychologically. You've got to do it for real. Okay. Number 2, we've got to know how to operate that platform. I'm nowhere near as good as Trent. He's a software, but he's a savvy guy. I can operate it as far as I go. But I can put an order in, I can load in my watch list, I can set my charts up, I can modify my stop loss, and I can manually close my position. Okay, that's the basics. You can develop on from that if you want, and there's a lot of other bits and pieces I don't know about, very clever, and you can implement if you're some sort of software guru. But it's no good ever phone the broker up. I'm in this trade and I don't know how to modify, or I don't know how to exit. Because I tell you, I'm not going to be rude here, the broker's going to think you're an idiot. How on earth can you get in the car and drive off into the blue without knowing how to stop the car? So, you know, I'm being harsh here, maybe, but if you don't know how to operate it, then, you know, we have platform training, and you got to know how to operate it. You know, it's not difficult, but you don't have to be all ins and outs. But you've got to know how to place a trade, etc. You will get trade ideas, you'll get trade signals, but don't say, can you place it for me? We're not allowed to, number 1. And number 2, I'm not going to spend an hour, I've trained all these years to become a broker to teach you what button to press. That's for platform training. If you don't understand the first time, try the second time. You've got to understand how to do it. You've got to say, I want to buy or sell. You've got to go into there. You've got to know, work out your volume, that's like position size calculator, put the stop loss DP, know to buy or sell from the signal, etc. You've got to know difference in market execution and a pending order. If you don't, you need to go to platform training. That's their job. No other company provides that. We do. So make use of it. It's free of charge. If you don't know how to operate the tools of the job, you don't know how to use a spanner, it's hardly going to ask for a mechanic's job. You know what I mean? You've got to know those basics. Very, very important. Okay, and of course, interact, ask questions. I am a loud guy. I'm a big softy as a person, but I'm a loud guy. And I'm at an age where I'm getting a little bit tired of BS, to be honest. So rather be straight where you are. I don't mean offensive like that. I don't mean harsh. It might come out that way. Maybe it's a cultural thing. I don't know. But I try to, what you see is what you get. And I promise I'm on your side. And I'm not going to say, oh, don't worry about it. You go and start the next 3 weeks, etc. No, I'll try and explain it here. It's up to you to obviously interact. Okay. That's correct. Well, the thing with CFDs is people are more familiar with shares. You know, we took them out like 0.0625 on, I don't know, on a particular Audi CHF, really CHF or something. Yeah, on a share, you've heard of Google, you've heard of Microsoft. It's you're familiar with it in your previous life, if you like. So yeah, but at the same time, Forex is by far the biggest trader of this do. So you'll get the hang of it. It takes, like anything, it takes a bit of time. You will not learn how to play the piano in a day or two. It takes a little bit longer. But if you put the grind in, it'll get there. It's grind more than great intelligence, to be honest. But the biggest thing, don't care whether you're a PhD or you film the trick, the biggest thing by far is control those emotions and the discipline involved with it. Okay. EUR, CAD, we've looked at it, we'll look at it again. Right. Have you looked at it? I've looked at it. On the 1 hour, make sure on the daily. I do my strategy on the daily, by the way. You can do on the 4 of the day, it's up to you. I do mine on the daily. Let's punch in a bit, zoom out. All right, where are we now? What it tell me, neutral zone, it's come up. It seems to be hovering around a bit of resistance there. Now, the next question, will it push upwards? It could well do. I don't see a trade there personally, but if it pushes up to these levels here, how far away is that? It's another 100 pips up. Push it up to these levels here, and we get a bit of a pullback. Confirmed, we might get a bit of sell down. We've got to wait. It might go through and then you can bounce, and then it's a buy up there. Difficult for me to call at the moment. On first looking at that from the daily, that to me is I'm not too keen. Either way, by the way. On the weekly, again, a bit of resistance. Will it continue? Not sure. It's 50-50. No, it's not good enough. 60-40, I might go for it. 50-50, I won't. 4 hour, sellers are coming, sellers are coming in. That doesn't give me any more confidence. 1 hour, much the same. So I'm looking at it as I speak, Zeph, and I'm saying leave it alone. Anybody, include yourself, Zeph, disagree? We're waiting for a sell. Eugene, I'd agree, but higher up. If that 50 holds, it comes off, yeah. But yeah, going back to that, before I do that, EuroCHF, happy with that? EuroCHF. Yeah, that to me is more possibility to sell. You happy with that, Dirk? Okay. Do you know any other guys who understand this? Tell me. I'll put up the economic calendar after the trade. At the moment, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest with you. CPI, low down CPI, who's this Zeph's idea? I have to admit, I quite like this. It's always going to be a negative. It's always a yin and a yang. The only thing is, I don't like yesterday's candle that much. A bit of indecision, but what I do like about it, try to break through, failed, tried again to do it and failed. So I'm thinking, this is the 100-day moving average, by the way. I'm actually mean to think this could be a sell here. That's held, that's held, that's held, that's held. You see where I'm coming from? What I don't like is not hell of a lot of follow through. What are we on now? The daily, let's take it from here to here. It's only 33 pips. There's a myriad of resistance here. That's my worry. Otherwise, if that was a different chart layout with some nice momentum down with a TP down here somewhere like this level here, I'll say it's a pretty good sell idea. The moment there's doesn't seem much follow through, that's the one that's made me nervous. Okay, what do you think on that? I just want to look at what has been set up here. I started the college back in 2009. I actually met Roger personally a short while after when he came to Botswana. Oh, did you? There's quite a few guys then. Which guy you were there? Okay, Coney. Are you a lady or a gentleman? I'm not sure. I think it's a male's name, but it might be a female. I thought I made that. I thought Zacharazi. I thought it was a male actor. Zach. Turns out it's a lady. Okay. Short after we came to Botswana, a quick trade campus in CBD. COVID happened, things and challenged me anyway. Anyway, I started seriously attending classes in last year, having to compress 3 years worth of work to 7 months. Yeah, I've learned a lot of stuff. Zoom classes and this, and I get lots of time to get key guys and all that. I know what I know because of it. Okay, that's a fair comment. NZ in a state of emergency. You're a male. I thought you were, but I've made that mistake before. Thanks, Cody. NZ's a state of emergency. That's on YouTube. I didn't know that. Can you just give me some more information? I've unmuted you, Pietro. Can you just give me some more information on a cyclone? Oh, right. I didn't know that. Yeah, but negative effect in NZD. You're right. Wow.
Roger, Roger, my kids are there. And I just get all the photos and things. Auckland, the one shopping centre is underwater, and they close both. They thought the cyclone would only hit the North Island, but it's on its way to the South Island, and they put out and they evacuated places. So the whole New Zealand, both sides, is now in a state of emergency.
Oh my goodness! Thanks for that update. Crystal clear. On point. Nice. Thank you. Excellent. We've got all that, guys. Who is it? Is it Marius or somebody saying they're going over there to see their kids? Oh, it's you, Marius. What fun and games. That's a good time to pick, eh? Let's have a look at this in a slightly short. It happened this morning, eh? Or yesterday. Don't see that much effect on the market. None of a sudden jumped down. It happened recently. Excuse my ignorance. Thanks for that. At least I'm not ignorant of that anymore. That's again, we learn in here. Can you hear me all right now, Robert? Any problem? If my sound is correct. Can you hear me all right now? I know you don't, Marius, so you're going on a visiting visit, that's right. Oh, you can hear me now, fine, okay. Okay, fair enough. Okay, well, thanks for that. I didn't know that clearly. Now we're good. You should know that. All right. Well, there doesn't seem to be much happening. Again, I wouldn't sell it down, even as a range trade down here, because you will get a risk reward and then $1 CPI is coming out later. Okay, so just going back, I think I've covered those. I want to go back to something I can, but as I say, there was this Euro CHF. Seemed the best of the bunch. Euro CHF, that one. Can't remember which was it. Yes, it was. Yeah. My only problem with that is it doesn't seem any follow through, going right back to November. So I'm going to actually sit on the fence on that, but I do see the downside. It might be computers your side there, Zakili, because the others seem to be hearing you all right. Okay, if you want to do it, tell me, I'll put the calculator up. Everyone must have this risk calculator. If you don't have it, go to the live chat and go to technical support and have it downloaded onto your laptop. $USD CHF. We'll look at NZD-JPY in a minute. Somebody asked for this. Yeah, we'll look at this one. Well, first of all, I'm not going to touch, unless we're very, very brave, $1 because of the CPI. So I'm not going to go into a trade. If you want it, it's up to you. I'll put the calculator up, but I'm as a rule not going to do that until the figures are released. Now, that being as much, yeah, otherwise I'd say, even then I wouldn't sell it at the moment, even though I'm looking for a sell, is because it hadn't broken through to confirm it. As it tried to, the buyers are coming again. I wouldn't buy it because in the sell zones, but all those major moving averages, so to me it's a sell zone. So how far is it to this level here? It's only 60 pips. I would rather sell it there down than buy it there going against the trend, because it might get that far and then break through. So that is not worth it. So you put your stop in there about 45 pips away, and then you aim up there. You might squeeze the ratio, but it might not get there because we're going against the current. So I wouldn't go in for it now. And if I was going to go and put it, I'd rather be on the sell side unless something happens to the dollar strength. Okay, assume there's no CPI, there's no dollar strength, blah, blah, blah. None of that extraneous occurrence is occurring. I would rather sell near the 50 rather than buy and go against the trend. Okay, that's my take on that one. Okay, NZD-JPY. Haven't you missed the other opportunity? Let's see, we have missed a shift. Let's have a look. Yeah, I might have missed the shift. Yeah, come down a bit of resistance there. Put it up here. It's only 100 pips. That's doable. You need about 160. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. You've got to take it down here. Down here. You've got to take to about these levels here to make it work. If you think the NZD is going to weaken down there, and the Japanese is strong enough to push it down there, then you can do a risk reward trade. Otherwise, you've got to wait to try and get it around about these levels to sell it. Okay. Major pairs and a whole lot, but that's why we haven't got a trade out today. Lady just called me up, a new lady came up and asked me, I've got the trader says unlikely we're going to get much, you never know. We're going to be very much sideways, as we know, for reasons why. So that's what I'm saying. This we discuss ideas you come up with, and we can discuss some formats and strategies and try and get the knowledge up in the meantime. So I would stay outside on that. Okay. And see all of them that I've mentioned now. Just want to copy and paste the economic calendar. Everybody must have this. And most have got it, but some might not, so it doesn't take me long. If you haven't got it, copy and paste it, then keep it handy and minimize on your laptop so you can refer to it, so you don't jump in to a trade just before the economics calendar tells you there's some information coming out on it. Okay. You can filter it, like I mentioned before, to put more or less in it if you want. And I'm putting the dollar index, that's the DXY, the US dollar index. Keep those two handy. Okay, so there we are. So you've got the dollar index, you've got the economic calendar, you now know about the calculator. I hope you all have got your charts set up. I don't clutter it up too much. I don't use many indicators. That's just me. I'm not saying they're wrong. That's just me, my personal taste. Okay. But one thing I do strongly suggest you do is right click. Yeah. And then if you've already done it, don't worry about it. Go to templates and save it. Last thing you want to do is lose your chart. You can't get hold of anybody to assist you. And you've got all sorts of gobbledygook going on, no matter sort it. So right click once you've got your chart set up, which you must have, where you're comfortable with them, and then save it. Once you've saved it and you lose the charts, I'm going to lose the charts right now. I think it's this one here. I'm going to lose the charts right now. You've lost them. You pressed the wrong button. Oh my goodness, now what do you do? Panic not, you save them. Go to templates, right click, go to templates, and you'll see the saved charts there. I've got half a dozen or so. I like this one, so I'll put that up. So save them, and if you lose them, just go and right click and you can get them back. Happy with that. What does that mean? It means the consumer price index is going to give an indication where it's going to be inflationary or deflationary, depending how the figures come out above or below the expected in the United States of America. That's why we don't have a 4 to 5:30 session today. We've got a 3 to 4:30 because we can trade that on what's called a straddle trade. I'm going to again right now, and we're going to get a 3 o'clock trade. So that's why it's important. Okay, it's a consumer price index. It's an indication of inflation. You need to know a guy called Jerome Powell. He's the chairman of the Fed. Don't forget everyone else, but he's very important. And what he says affects the world's economies. Okay, and he's not speaking now. I mean, when he's speaking, it's important. Now, today we got the CPI, the consumer price index coming out 3:30, and we want to see if we can take advantage of that piece of economic news coming out there. But we don't want to get cute before, because we don't know what the result's going to be. If it strengthens the dollar and it shortens the dollar, not the top. You don't want to be short the dollar because it might shoot up. Look at this. You see that green candle there? That's not a very good example. Try a daily one. That's more like it. These are usually not always fundamentals coming out. That's probably think that was the non-farm payrolls coming out. I don't know. But important fundamentals, you get these bigger candles. At the moment, it's drifting. Look at that smaller candle there, it's drifting. That's a day. That's a day. Look at the distance. That it moved 132 pips in a day. This particular day, it only moved what? 28 pips. You see? So fundamental news affects the market. So that's what it's about. Okay, hopefully you understood that. Is navinvesting.com, world of information in there. Keep it. I've given you two there. It's all come to investing.com. From there, you can go to the landing page. You can go to search the website at the top of it. You can put in any particular instrument you're trading. You can look at the technicals of it. You can look at the charts on it, everything. It's free of charge and it's fantastic. It's part of the knowledge of your trading journey. Okay, so AUDNZD, I've got this one up here. Possibly the short is drifting too much, so we'll sit tight on that one as well. But that's thanks, Gladys. But that's a possibility of a short. don't have enough follow through, 60 pips. You want to take it down here, 90 pips. What the stop is up here. So you could probably squeeze an aggressive trade. If you want an aggressive trade, you can probably do it now. That's only a guy who know what the hell I'm talking about aggressive trade and say, right, sod it. I'm going to try an aggressive trade. They come short, so dear. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. So I just want to go back to stuff again. If you missed the trading room, you can go to the portal, go down the menu to get the social media, and there you'll see it's recorded on YouTube. So if you're on the road at 4 or 5 o'clock, well, when you get home and, you know, put on the supper or after supper, you can, if you want, the recording is there. I put the date in each day, so you're looking at the most recent or an older one, you'll know by the date. Okay, just so you didn't know that, and hopefully now you do. So economic calendar is very important. Just post it, Gladys. So I hope you and the other guys minimized it, and then you'll see it says 330 US CPI monthly and what you call it, quarterly and yearly. And don't forget, if you still don't know what it means, it gives information. Click on it, and you get the rundown on what they're talking about, so you'll know next time. Okay. This, I hate to say it, guys, not something, oh, well, I fancy buying this, I'm going to make a lot of money. No, it's like any skill, you've got to get a bit of knowledge on it. Okay. And you always will. I give you an example, like a lawyer. You might be a great lawyer, and it takes 3 years sabbatical to come back. You've got to do some work because things have moved on those 3 years. You've got to bone up what's been happening the last 3 years so you come back of value as a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, see me at 3 o'clock. It comes out at 3:30. You want to be prepared. If you want to trade the CPI, Gladys, come back at 3 o'clock, and then we'll show you how to do the straddle trade. Get it set up right. Don't come back at 3:30. You've got to be back at 3. Come back at 3:30. You missed the damn thing. Okay. All right. So have we got now to save the charts? You know what the economic calendar is. Got to send it to you. You know what the dollar index is. You know how to get your position size calculator and average. I think. Oh yeah, and specifications. Don't forget, if you're not sure of the specification, left click, right click on the instrument of choice, left click on specification. There you get the information: contract size, margin, bits and pieces, times opening, or whatever. It's all there. Okay, got to interpret it, okay, but it's all there. Okay. Right. Any questions, guys? Are we all cool? New guys, particularly, if you can come in later on, it'd be great. And then do the straddle trade. Those who did it last week, or when it was the non-farm payrolls, did okay as far as I know, the feedback. So maybe we can make a quick buck. Now, there's nothing as risk-free. I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same, bigger or lower. And do exactly the same, we might get some funny movements. We'll see what we can do. Okay. We're going to try and make use of the unknown and trade it to benefit out of the unknown major economic coming out. I don't encourage Euro, Germany, or other CPIs to get that much movement. US, you do. That's why we're doing it. And the big ones moving, it's inflation so much of a problem these days. The CPI and the non-farms coming out the first Friday every month. So we're doing one today, and on Friday, the 3rd of March, we'll do another 3 to 4:30 session, just so you know. Or 3 to 4 on Friday, sorry. Just be 3 to 4, just so you know. So it's today, it's 3 to 4:30, not to 5:30. Okay. Right, so yeah. Any more discussions on this particular thing? Do you want me to go into how we're going to trade it? Locally, no, you go to, no, that's all. No, you go to the, to record it, you do like I said, you know, I know what you talk about there, then it's confusing me. Okay, right, where are we? Right, know the difference in CFDs and shares. Well, all CFDs, so I said, no difference in shares and indices and commodities and indices. You want the calculator? Don't try it on a share. Don't put a Google in, it won't work on this one. You bought the course, you need to make use of it. Go in there, get your resources. I believe it's there. Those who know better than me, I don't use that. But yeah, and I believe your risk calculator for shares are there. It's a separate calculator. Just bear that in mind. Don't go 0.01 or 0.1 or something on the share. It's a different contract value. You do 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 30 sometimes. The volumes are very different on shares. Don't forget that. Okay, it's different. Bought the course, do a class on shares, do a class on, or more than one if you like, for every more. There, classes, do them. Okay, so. Okay, guys, so yeah, so quite a few new names. I'm saying, do not, I repeat, not try and get clever at the markets. if you don't know what a derivative is, you know what a leverage is, you don't know anything really. Don't try and drive a car when you don't know. No, please. I shouldn't have to be saying that, but clearly I do because people seem to be doing it. And you will need basic arithmetic. It is important. Because if you don't, you're going to get the wrong volumes. Okay, right. Any questions on trades or any of the basics I've been talking about you want clarity on? You're there to read the calculator, you put the information in. If you're going long, fair enough. If you're going short, fair enough. Just remember to tick that. You put, if it's instant, this figure will move with that. It's exactly the same. Put in the stop loss TP and you'll give you a risk per 0.01. You can multiply it up to get your volumes. Does everyone know how to operate that? Anything we've gone over? Even Anna Marie or fine, we've gone over. You're not too sure. Just run by again. Okay, I'm happy to do that. I don't want to bore you guys, so I need that. You all know it's no point me going on about it to bore you. At this part, I think we'll stick with the euro dollar. So if you want to do something else, you can. I would suggest we stick to the same page and do the euro dollar. Right. Seems to be a bit clearer. Okay. Right. Now, don't place the orders now. That we're going to be 2 pending orders. You do it within 5 minutes of opening. Sorry, 5 minutes at 3:30. Do it too early, all your calculators will be up to maggots because the market's going to sit still waiting for you. You understand? It ain't going to sit still waiting for you. If you put in at 2:30, it's too early. So you put in you've got to know what to do so you can move in it quickly before the release. A bit of practice will probably take about a half a minute or a minute to put it in, but even less sometimes. Well, give yourself 5 minutes. So now the time is 3:25 on Tuesday, the 14th of Happy Valentine's Day, by the way, guys. Send you lots of love. On the 14th of December, it's now 3:25, and we're going to put in our straddle trade to take advantage of. So we're doing the euro dollar. This stage, I think we can use 50, not 20 pips. Okay. So we're going to remember the figure 15 pips. Now we've got to know what that means. It's not points, it's pips. So to make life easier for you, you ignore the 5th decimal place. Ignore it. Don't worry about it. It's even a small figure then. That 9 or that 3, 2, whatever jumping around it. Completely ignore it after 35 and 34. The difference between this price and that price is what we call the market maker spread. If you buy, you get in on this. When you sell, you get out on that. Slight difference. It's the spread. It's a lot tied to the indices, so that's a bit of a pleasure. It's only about 1.5 pips, something like that. So you don't have that many costs. So we're going to place a trade above the market, and we're going to place a trade below the market. Just a second, read this. Now, can I ask you, consistent working trade? Can you get it right? Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I'm asking you if I've been trading seriously in January. I would say I've improved the chart. Right, Buckley, absolutely. I'm not going to say this myself. I'm going to get back up from the guys here. You asked Anna Marie, you asked Fani, you asked Keone. They've been in the trading room coming here regularly for the last month or two. And I promise you, they're getting the idea. Still a bit of fat finger, still a little bit to learn. I'm learning still now. but the majority can be learnt in the first 2 or 3 months. If you're on the ball, you ask questions like you're saying, Buckley, and interact and come on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying, you know, I'll come once a week. It's like going for exercise. I go to the gym once a month. No, you got to go more often. If you come on a regular basis, yeah. I tell you what, I mean this. I've had guys who've been trading, finally backed me up on this one, I think it's still there, who've been trading a couple of years. And they've admitted they've learned more by coming regularly here than the previous times they have not been coming. So if you've been trading for a year and you're still clueless, clearly you're speaking to people who didn't know, or you're sort of running around on your own without knowing where you're coming or going, and you had no one to interact with. The speed pro is amazing. I'll give you an example. Yeah, this is so important. I'm going to go on about this. Come back straight in a minute. You want to study law, Buckley? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You see all these books here? Bang, shove it on your table, and then come back in 4 years' time and take the exam. I guarantee your likelihood of you failing is extremely high. I'll say, here's another situation. You go to classes and interact for the next 4 years, and you take the exam. The chance you passing are extremely high. I'm probably assuming, but I'm probably sure I'm right, you've been sort of floundering around, probably in treacle and fog, without any classes or guidance or whatever, and you're going around never decreasing circles. If you come in here and interact, just sit there waiting for your head to be downloaded, too scared to ask, well, you probably still know the same amount in a year's time as you do now. Interact, ask Anna Maria, ask Farney, ask Coyote, ask the guys who come in here fairly regularly. Well, be honest, guys, I'm talking rubbish, say so, the guy I just mentioned. If you think you can learn more by fiddling around for yourself for 10 months than you can by attending for 2 or 3 months here, I'd like to hear what you got to say, but I'll be very surprised. But I want the truth out, what you think, guys. You have to be soft and be rude to me, but be honest with me, because this is an important question. Because what Buckley's asking is going to apply to a lot of people who might be scared to ask out there. You do your course, but don't have to go through every bit and read half a dozen books. No, get the basics. Once you've got the basics, you come to the training room. I haven't got time to teach you what a standard lot is or what a Bollinger Band is. That's the class. Once you got the basics, then you come in and becomes a habit. I want to show you what I mean. I'm going to go to the GBB catch. I'm just taking it up entirely there. I can tell, I'll scrunch it a bit. I can tell now by looking at it, it's in the neutral zone, it's rider resistance. It could pop up or put down. I know the GBB is a bit weak at the moment, so I prefer to look for the short, but I'm not getting enough confidence. I've got the follow through yet to short it, or the what's called confirmation to short it yet. So I'll leave this alone. Bang, onto the net. I do this every day in the morning. I can go through the whole lot in about 10, 15, 20 minutes. If I see something, aha, let's have a look. Then I'll go to the weekly hour and go to some time. But I can make the mind up, just sheer practice. And this is not great, brilliant genius here, trust me. It's just practice. After all, I can look at a chart like a headline, I can pick it up pretty quick. Do I want to spend time with it or not? Get the idea. It's just practice. It is not brains. If you want brains, go and speak to Farney. He's the clever one here. Me, I'm not the brains, it's just practice. I always remember in the UK, you get these simple guys, not really well educated, playing darts from sheer practice. They'll going back from 301 to 501, and I'll say immediately, I want to go 19, 17, bull and double top, and I'm out. What? Where? Woo? At the top of the head like that. Practice. You know what I mean? It's just practice. Okay. So yeah, ask you that. If you come here every day, interact properly, and after a year you still can't understand a chart, I think otherwise you've had brain damage, or you haven't you're refooling yourself and been watching films or looking at Facebook or something. You know what I mean? Now the next question to go on with that: how come we're all not billionaires? Where's the major problem? Two things. First of all, the market does what the market does. We cannot control it, and anybody trade for a while. The market behaves and the price action sometimes fools us all. Strange. And number two, which is the perennial problem with all human beings, is trying to understand, control your emotions and applying the most boring, sodding thing of all. Trust me, I know, boring, is that damn word discipline. What does discipline mean? It means doing something you don't want to sodding do. Okay, and that's true. Doing something you don't want to do.
Sorry?
I'm saying discipline.
Oh.
Doing what you don't want to do.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's the stinker. We don't want. We all want to do. I mean, you're a drinker. You're not going to get paid money going drinking. Oh, you're working very hard. You're drinking 12 hours a day. You're very disciplined in that. You're doing very well what you want to do. Unfortunately, it's not going to pay you much. It's going to cost you. So discipline's a thing. But yeah. So I hope that answers you. I went in length there because it is so important. And I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean it harshly. We've got a large amount of clients, over 96, 97, and 98%, who don't pick up the books, come to trade, or even do proper platform trading, and they're losing money. And they're blaming the account manager selling it. They're blaming me for my signals. They're blaming the company and all the rest of it. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason is because they don't know and haven't taken the trouble to find out. And every time they come up, they're quite belligerent at times. Because they're not listening, they're belligerent. And because simple reasons, you didn't know what the sod you were doing, didn't take the trouble. You give your keys to your 12-year-old and say, right, never been in a car before, hand the keys to them, say, drive off in that. And then suddenly they have a car crash. And then you blame the motor car. You know what I mean? No. Very important, because if guys could learn that, make my life easier, your life easier, etc. Because most of my time when I'm not in the trade room is handling queries from people who are trading without the slightest clue what they're in, why they're in, and what they're doing. Volumes, everything. And they bought a course to learn it. I bought the course, cost me a couple £100,000 to study medicine, and I failed. Do you know I failed? Well, I might be sick, might be true, but I never pitched up once and wonder why I failed the exam. You get the idea. It's not harsh, it's factual, and it staggers me. I don't think otherwise. Thank you, Karen. Exactly. It takes a Botswana guy to tell us that. Hey, shame. Is it a rule of thumb to first look at the daily trade before placing a trade in our chart for a day trader? Now, you've got to remember, as a day trader, it depends on the volatility of the markets. We also take into account costs. There's no cost. You can probably get in and out in 5 minutes because any profit is yours. But if you've got costs, you've got to make sure the market's moving up to cover your costs and make it worth your while. As a guy said, look, there's 10 pips the spread in the NASDAQ. And he complained, he took 20 pips and he says our commission's 50%. I just could not get through to him. You took your profit too quick. And that's why it's 50%. And if you got out and made 10 pips, your profit would have been zero because it cost 10 pips to get in. If you got in and made 100 pips, then it's 10%. He couldn't get this through. So, and then the more he doesn't understand, the more belligerent these guys attack because they're not getting the basics of it. So as a rule of thumb, before placing a trade in our chart, don't worry about the hour chart. That is down the line for more experienced people. It's day trading, it's sexy and it's sold on that basis. Occasionally going to be out the same day, depending on market movements, but often for 2-3 days. How long going to be? I don't know. It depends on market movement. If you get enough juice out of the NAS and you moved up 100, 150 pips, well, clearly, if it's coming off, you take it. That's maybe a few hours sometimes, but sometimes a little longer. It depends. Okay. All I'm using our time frame to see movement or confirmation of what the trade is. But I don't do my strategy on the 1 hour. Some on the 4. I don't do all my strategy in the daily. And then if I see as a possibility, like the Euro CHF we were looking at earlier on, I see as a possibility of a sell on this one. Then I'll look at the weekly. Then I'll look at the 4 hour and I'll glean information from that. Maybe sometimes the 15-minute, sometimes others, I don't know. And I glean information, but I do my initial strategy, whether it's worth looking at. If it's worth looking at, then I'll take it further. This is clearly a halfway house. Not, I'll move on to something else. I don't want to spend an hour and say I'm not going to trade. There's no point. Okay. And practice. I'm doing every day this, so obviously practice. Yeah. We all want to be, A to Z immediately. Unfortunately, it takes a bit of a go through. I'm sorry I spent so much time on that because Buckley, it's such an important question. And I wish people would sort of understand that question, understand the answer. It'd save them a lot of financial strife down the line. Everyone wants a quick, easy buck, shortcut, something for nothing. Unless you're lucky, very, very few do in the lottery. Most of them do not win anything. In fact, they come up worse off because they tried the shortcut. Because they're too indisciplined to actually try and do it properly. I see it all the time. Everyone's spending more. Ever heard the comedy Only Fools and Horses? It's called Only Fools and Horses because after saying Only Fools and Horses work, and the guy, old Del Boy Trotter, is always coming up with some scheme and he's always broke. And people not getting the point. Everyone's coming with this new quick rich scheme, and they're coming in a year, and you see in 5 years, they're still sitting, they're all coming out as quick, because they don't want to do it properly for any shortcut. Understand? Okay. To do the job properly. If you can't, well, you can't. Okay. Right. Now we go to what we're doing now. We'll go back to euro dollar. You need to know what a pending order is. You don't, well, you got to know it. But you get a platform for an idea on that. So I'm going to do this, make it a bit clearer. I'll get the wrong way around. Zoom in a bit. I've just zoomed in a bit. Right. Now it's 3:25, Tuesday afternoon, the 14th. And it's 5 minutes before the 3:30 release of the CPI, Consumer Price Index. So you put a pending order 15 pips above the market and a pending order 15 pips below the market. What is the market? The price where we are at the moment. That's market price. Right. So we're going to call that 40 and we'll call that 38 because it's moving as we speak. So that's 40 and that's 38. So clearly 15 on 40 is 55. So you go to your euro, where is it now? Euro USD, open up a new order. You change it from market execution to pending order. Okay, Zakili, no problem at all, Zakili. But if you come back at 3 and you want to do this, if you're a complete beginner, maybe come along for the interest, but try it when you're a little more comfortable. Okay, so where were we? Yeah. Pending order. Right. Now, we're not going to go for a buy limit. We'll start with the buy stop. We're going to do a buy stop and a sell stop spending order. Trading order, right? Pending order. Right. So you got to know where your volumes are. Please don't say, what volume should I use? I'm sorry to be rude. That irritates me. How the hell would I know? I don't know what your risk is, how much money you got, or anything. You might have a very low risk, but 100,000 rand in your bank account. You might be very high risk, because you're waiting for 20,000 rand to come through from fixed deposits and you want to go a little bit higher because you can afford it. Or you might be in a very low sum of money. You might only have a couple of grand in there. I haven't the slightest clue what volume. I expect you to know what your budget is. I expect you to know what volumes to put in because that, do you go shopping without knowing what your budget is? I'll buy this, I'll buy that, buy the other. No, you know what your budget is. So you've got to know what volumes you want to put in there. And you need to know that. Not just for this, but ongoing. If you can't work out your budget, and you can't do the maths on it, go to classes and find out what your budget is, what you're prepared to risk, because this is absolutely vital. So I can't say we put in 1 micro or 1 mini or whatever, because that is the budget depending how much money you've got. So let's just pretend we can put a little bit more because it's a pending, it's a CPI movement. So if you can afford 3, you might want to go 4 or 5. If you got enough free margin. If you don't know what that means, go back to classes. That's what the classes are for. So you need your free margin. Let's say we're going to 0.05. What price above? Said 49. So you're going to go into price. And it's going to be 15 pips above that. So it's going to be 1.07. 40 is 55. You say, but it's 15 above. That's not 55. I know. It's moved. I'm using this as an example to explain. So we're pretending that's got stuck at 40 and that's stuck at 38. Never mind it's moving because otherwise, please understand. Yeah. Right. Don't put a stop loss or TP in. You put that place, pending order, and you click on place. And you'll have a placed order above the price here. Then you go to this one here. You go to pending order again. And this time you're going to do a sell stop. You'll know that because when you put the price in here, it's going to be 15. Well, that's 38 minus 15 is 33.23. So you're going to put in 1.0723 just before the market opens and play your seats for red to sell stop. Place it. So you've got an order above and below the market price. Right. Let's say the market comes in and CPI is much higher than expected. Then we expect a strong dollar. So what will happen? Will it go up or down? No, it'll go down because the dollar is not the base currency. it'll fly off. You close immediately your buy limit. Sorry, you sell your buy stop. Beg your pardon. You buy stop. You immediately before anything else, you close it in case you get a whiplash. Get rid of the order that's not being filled. Get rid of it. The order's getting filled, then you concentrate on it. You take profits going down. You hang on and use some common sense. Still get down. Why would you close it? You have to spell that out. I worry. Got to use some common sense. If it's going up, right, you close this one immediately and you follow it up till you take profit. Does that all make sense? If it doesn't, maybe somebody else, Anna Marie or somebody else can hold the floor, because I'm feeling maybe I'm explaining it wrong. A lot of guys still not quite understand what I'm talking about, and maybe I'm going too quick or something like that. So if somebody out there doesn't know, it's a good way to make some money here. It's important you find out how it does, because it's actually a good way to make bucks. That's why we're doing it. Maybe someone else can help me out and explain so you do know. Great. I need this feedback, guys, please. Because if you want to make some money, you've got to tell me you understand and we'll do it. If you don't understand, you say you do. How can I help you? Very, very important. It's one I keep going on about, I get it all the time. Yeah. I mean, they don't understand. Roger, one question. This happened. Let's say you have enough capital in 3 months, say on 2 3 PPI. Yeah, no problem. In other words, for example, places, no problem. No problem. I would stick to no. Yes, sorry, quite right. So, jumping the gun there. Sorry, quite right. But rather use gold, which will be affected by, or a US dollar. Don't do GBP, JPY for arguments. So you can do the dollar, yen, euro, dollar. Instead, you got the wrong round. It's sort of be annoying to you. Say euro, dollar. I'm being pedantic to the point of irritating you there because it is that important. Because remember, you're concentrating here to get it the right way around. So remember, the dollar, yen, the dollar is the base currency. It's not dollar, euro, it's a euro, dollar, it's the base currency. Not it matters because they're both will be triggered. So if the dollar's strong, the going up will be triggered, and then the euro will be triggered on the way down. So your short will be triggered on the euro dollar, and your long will be triggered on the dollar yen because it's the base currency is the other way around. But absolutely, no problem at all. As long as you got the brains and understanding to quickly go from one to the other. All I'm asking is to complete the order that wasn't filled. So in the dollar yen, let's say the dollar's strong, shooting up, quickly first. On the board here. They're just starting. And he did it first time ever, and he's already getting the crap. So I don't think he's a genius or not, but let's just seems an ordinary guy, so we can get it. It means we can all do it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not that complicated. If it is, because I've explained it wrong. If it isn't complicated, it's my fault. Here's a baby's bottom. You haven't seen my kid's bottom. I mean, mini jerky bar. Can you hear me all right now? Fine says no sound. No, don't do AXU, do the gold. Get XAU, don't worry about it. Just go gold. If you want to do gold, do it. Sound fine now, good. Thanks. Do you want close position or just click on the X at the end of the trade bar? There's several ways. You can close by, I haven't got any money on this, I'll just get some money for this thing here. What you do there, you got your trade up here, and you can just right click, close the thing up there, drop down come, or you can right click and do that, or you can double click and click on the yellow bar. So you can double click yellow bar or right click and it'll say close order, click on top, out you go. Okay, now make sure you don't double click on the SL or TP area. So ignore these two boxes, that's for modifying. So if you want to go to these two areas, otherwise any of the other areas, you highlight, not this, try to make it volume, then make it easy for it. Right click, close at the top, or double click, highlight, double click, and the box comes off. You can do close by hitting the yellow bar, or it's going well and you're in 5 micros and it's going well, it's going up or whatever, you might want to close to. So you just double click You go to the volume, put in 2 micros, click the yellow bar, you're left 3 to run. Then you close another one till you're out, or play with a modifying stop loss. Okay. You can partly close the trade, in other words. Okay, Anthony. Good enough. Okay, so going back to that, don't forget that you can partly close. So guys there, Dirk, whoever, it's going up nicely, getting a bit nervous. You might want to bank a couple of, you know, if you're 1 micro, clearly you can't. But if you're more than 1 micro, you want to bank some of your volume. What you do is then you just double click, obviously highlights, double click, and then what you do is it comes up there, put in the volume on a close and click the yellow bar. Right. Any questions on the straddle trade? Buy stop above, sell stop below. If you're quick on it, preferably 2 minutes before, because otherwise you've got the market movements all the time. It'll really slow down, still a bit of movement. But if you find you're a bit, first time you're a bit slow on it, basically, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, but close to the time of opening, sorry, the release of the data, the better. Buy stop above, below, and we're going to use 15 pips this time. 15 pips, not points. Ignore the decimal point there. 15 pips above the buy, on the buy stop, 15 pips below. And as Dirk pointed out, if you understand the score and you want to do it on 2, if you've got nothing to do on 3, you've got to be quick on deleting those outstanding orders. What I'm thinking of pushing through is we'll do it on the NASDAQ on the micro. And I thought we're not going to do it yet for the simple reason people don't seem to understand it yet. So hopefully people's confidence level of understanding the micro on the NASDAQ, as with the contract size being different than normal micro NASDAQ, we'll be able to do it with smaller amounts of money, then they can participate. But if they can't understand the mechanics of it, whether they've got small or large, obviously can't do it. You've got to understand the mechanics, then it's number crunching. It's going to sound way too what's going on. Okay. Okay, but Dirk, no problem. A lot of guys got to leave. We have quite a few joining in. So there we are. Right. First of all, any questions? You've got to work out your own volumes. If you're normally, well, let's say you're doing 2 micros, you might want to put 3 or 4 in because it's going to be quicker and you're deleting the other one. Once you delete the other one, if you zigzag around, you either close it or get your stop in modified to entry to protect and ride it up. And you get nerves, it's jumping around you. It might come flying back. I don't know what's going to happen. If it comes back a little, goes up, you don't jump too quickly. In other words, you've got to think on your feet and be on it. If you can't think your feet and be on it, maybe it's not for you. You've got to really be on it. It's not yeah, but time. You know, the old Castrol advert, you remember that? Beat 'em up. Yeah, but no, it's too slow. Close the position because it will not appear on the trade bar. I don't understand what you mean by that. Sorry about that. I'm not with you. Close position. Good. Sorry. I'm trying to fill around this thing here. Do you think? Trying to move it up so I can see that there. Here we are. Thanks, Ron. Do one closed position or just click on the X at the end of the trade bar. You can do that, yeah. And an open position there. So I haven't got one now. I can't go in there. I must get somebody to do it properly. There should be a little cross somewhere along here. Quite right. You can close it by clicking on that. You can close clicking on that. You can right click and close it. There you go. It's not there. You've got to position it clearly. Close on that one. Or you can double click and then close that. You know, that's how you do it, yeah. Remember, as I said before, if you're going to make any money, you've got to understand the vehicle you're using. If you don't understand the vehicle you're using, you can make money on it. You've got to know your platform. You can click on the little cross there. You can right click. You can double click. You can cut your position. There you are. Have it ready if it's moving. Just double click, it's moving, you're still in, you've got the thing ready. Don't get it too close, and yet somebody pulls the door and you press the finger down by mistake, and you knock yourself out. I've done that before. So you don't hover over the yellow bar, but just below in case you depress your finger by the dog barking and something, and then you're out. Now you're annoyed. Because it guaranteed to go in your favor if you do that. It's Murphy's Law. So yeah, keep it handy there. A lot of quick in and out trades, the prop traders do that. Once they're in, they bring it in a closed position, have it handy there to get out. And just watch it. Have you maybe if it's going up nicely, get a modified stop in, then you're more relaxed. It comes back, stops you out, at least you're not at risk. And then have it going a bit more ready. Should I, shouldn't I? You know, method ways, different ways to skin a cat. You delete a place trade, you know, you're closing an open position, you delete a place trade. People say it costs you anything. If you're not in the market, it doesn't cost you anything. Just a place trade. It's not being filled, you're not in the market. Just delete it. All good? This is important stuff. Because I'd like you guys to do well out of this. It breaks my heart when guys still don't understand. Like one guy asked me last week, we did on non-farms. This is a sell trade. Clearly, he hadn't a clue what I was talking about earlier on. So no problem with that. Then repeat it till he does. It's not a sell trade. We don't know the direction. That's why I have a buy stop, sell stop. And it can be, well, can be not guaranteed. There's always risk involved, but it can be very, very fruitful. It's a common way of trading the, as I say, these. And if it's successful and you're happy with it, and you take the effort to come and join me in it, with pleasure, I'll do it on the CPIs and non-farms going forward. Because I don't understand selfish here, but you get people like Fanny and Anna Marie and guys like that, it's an absolute pleasure. But when you get people come in and say, look, that signal says a buy, do I sell it? That's not fun. Well, one guy asked, got a signal out and says it's, you know, says 0.01, this, let's say 100 and 200, 0.02, 200 and 400, get the idea. He says, what's that mean? He says, that's your volumes to go and give me your risk. Oh, thanks very much. And he came back and says, okay, so if I put in 100 rand, I'll make 200. Is that what that means? That's not fun. You know what I mean? That's not fun. Okay, so quite a few newer guys in there. I want this to happen. I want newer guys to join. I think the BD team, I know names on here, get quite a few of the BDE team, the account managers, I say, on here, and for the account manager on here. Please send them through here. Once they got the basics, no point through, they don't know what stop loss is or what that or anything. No, they've got to do a bit of background stuff. And then hesitant to say, once you've done the basics, come in here, and you'll be surprised what you learn. I know, man. Yeah, you just shut. No, don't be hurtful, but it's despair. You know? Now I want to be a mechanic. What's this thing here called spanner? Vital to get those levels sort of basics up, and then we can work. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just letting gentlemen in here. Okay, good. So all those in here, talking about the straddle trade for the CPI, we plan the same for the non-farms going forward. Anybody still not quite sure on the straddle trade? Might as well understand it. Okay, Calvin, very simple. You go to the live chat on the portal, Quick Trade website or the Stock Market College website, the live chat bottom right corner, go there and go to technical support and they'll load onto your computer. This is not for shares like Google, etc. It's only for everything but, repeat, but shares. Okay, shares, you can see it's an Excel spreadsheet on your LMS. Okay, if you've got a phone, you'll have to go to the App Store and find one there. It's not for the phone, it's only for the laptop. You must have it. If you're trading without understanding the volume, it's like going, you're paid at the end of the month and you go shopping and you've no idea, and you and just go spending because you don't know anything about your budget, and wonder why you get home, your spouse gives you a snot because you've overspent. Now you can't eat, you can't pay the rent, you can't do anything. You get the idea. Absolutely essential. And it's very simple. You can put a pending order in. Don't worry about the other one. You can put an instant order in, which is a market. When I talk about market, means instant. You can put a pending order in, means you're not in the market, trying to get a price, or the stop limit. That's slightly different. I'd rather, no, leave it alone. More advanced guys will understand that. They go into stop limits, they're out and then reinforce a short trade the other way around. Yeah. We're trying to get guys over the first hump without getting over that, which is getting more complicated area. So don't worry about it. Instant order pending. Good stuff. Hallelujah. It's the first day I've got everyone joining in and asking these questions. Normally it doesn't happen. Fantastic. Well done, guys. It's so important. Remember, if you don't make money because you don't know what to do, it doesn't make a difference to my bank balance. It makes a difference to yours. It upsets me because I want to help, but I can't help if you don't tell me. You know? So it's fantastic you do that. Okay. And if you don't know, say, all right, the others might know. Don't worry. You've got to know. Don't mind the others. Like golf, you know, it's your own game you're concerned about, not Tiger Woods' game. It's your game. Okay, so everyone knows where to get the calculator from. All got the economic calendar and the DXY. Some guys might have come in late, not got it. I'll copy and paste it for you. So everybody now has got the dollar index, the link for it, and everybody there should have the economic calendar. If anybody does not have that, please say so, and I'll copy and paste again. If anybody doesn't have the calculator on their laptop and doesn't know how, I'm more than happy to explain again and again and again, because it is very important. If you want to drive at night and you don't know where the lights are in your car, then you can't drive at night. So you've got to know where that switch is. Okay. All good. I think it's, although we haven't any trades out, I think it's been fairly fruitful. I think some guys have learned some stuff here. I hope they've learned enough to put up my sort of loudness. I mean, I am loud, it's one of those things, but I hope we come and pick up stuff to learn. Okay, right. Economic calendar is economic fundamentals. Just going to do that again. Copy and paste for you. That's the economic calendar, and I do again the dollar index. It's an index of the US dollar with 6 currencies: the euro, the yen, the pound, the Swiss franc, the Canadian dollar, and the Swedish krona. Okay, Anne-Marie, catch you later. You'll be there for 3 or 4. I'm surprised you're not. Make sure you and Dirk are there. He's there and you're not. He'll make the money. Okay, that's a dollar index. So what you do is you copy the link, save it. Good stuff, Anne-Marie. Save it, and then what you do then is you check it out each day and see anything major coming up. If there's a major coming up about the pound, you don't want to just be made the major announcement on the pound, take a trade on the pound, because you might be the opposite way around. If you're not sure what it means, the particular one, you click on it and it'll give you an explanation. Just do a little bit of homework there in the meantime. Have your chart set up. Now we've got a few minutes. Get your chart set up. You're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, go to properties at the bottom, right click, go to properties, change it, the background to black and the foreground to white, or vice versa. Put in the stuff so you can easily recognize it, so you're clear in it, and then okay it. Once you got it set up nicely, you can put a moving average on. Let's put a couple on here. You want to know how to do that? Go into your insert, go to indicators, go to trend, and go across to moving average. You almost do this. You want the the 50, the 100, the 200, and if you want the 10. So it'll be 10, 50, 100, and 200. Give me each a color, make it sure it's simple, close, simple, and then make sure it's slightly thicker line so you can see it, okay it, and you have these moving averages, and then you'll learn how to use them here or the past or whatever. And then when you've done that, don't forget to save it. Right click, templates, save the template, put your name in, whatever, and then save it. So when you lose your charts, you go to templates, and there they all are. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 saved. You can have 1, 2, 3, or whatever saved. Okay. Those are basics we can control. Those are the basics you should know about. Okay. We can't control the market, whether it's going to go up and down from here. That's up. There's millions, literally millions of people trading with different viewpoints up and down. Here we go. Call that the noise. You want to know something about the share or the Forex or whatever it is, left click, right click, go to specifications. It gives you the margin and the contract value. See on the Euro GBP, like all Forex, the contract, no one says half, nobody seems to know that. Anyway, the contract size is 100,000. Okay, so it's 100,000. 100,000 in this case will be 100,000 euros. Remember, you only put a deposit down. Okay, that's your exposure. Buy a house for $1 million, you don't put the cash down because you haven't got $1 million. You put, let's say, 5% down. 5% is $1 million, so you're putting 50,000 down, but your exposure is still the full house of $1 million, even though you only put a deposit down. Right, if you go to a share, left click on a share. This is Ford, okay? Specification, it says 1. So clearly, you go 0.01 maybe on the euro dollar. You go 0.01 on Ford stock. Because then if you win, you'll buy a box of matches. If you lose a box of matches. You're wasting your sodding time. It's too small. If you're going to Ford, you might put in 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, no problem. But you would not put in that because the contract difference is a 1, not 100,000. There is a difference. Remember that, guys. It's important stuff going to the close. You want to go into the Dow. You like doing 0.01. We call it a micro. Yeah, I lost it there. See, I didn't do that on purpose. No problem. I'm not panicking. I didn't do that on purpose. Just by happened to happen that way. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to do this one, and I'm back in business. Right. So I'm going to do the Dow Jones. I can immediately see the Dow Jones is 34,200. All right. So I'm going to look at the contract side. 10. See, 10. What's that mean? The one contract is 10 times this figure here in dollars. So now there's one contract is 342,000 US dollars. What's that? 5 million rand. So the price of that house, the price of that contract, the price of the exposure is 5 million rand. That's very different. You're going to go to gold. Let's say you go to gold. Left click, right click, go to specifications. What's it say? Contract size 10. What's the, sorry, keep doing that. Right, 10. What's the figure here? Is that 34,000? No, it's 1,800. Completely different ball game. So the contract size is 5 million rand on the Dow. The contract size on here is $18,000, which is what? 18,000. That's going to be in rands. It's going to be what's that? 6,000. It's going to be 300,000 rand. 300,000 rand compared to, is that correct? Make sure that's correct. 18,000 times 700. Yes, 300,000 rand. Compare that to 300,000 rand for contract. Compare that to 5 million. Major difference. So you get a 0.01 on gold and 0.01 on the Dow is a completely different ballgame. 0.01 on the Dow is about 20 times bigger than 0.01 in gold. So you're going 0.0 on the Dow, then you go 0.20 or 20 micros on gold. It's 20 times the size. And gold isn't as volatile as the Dow on top of it. So we don't want you guys going in because some guy you met in the pubs, he trades the Dow, he's making a lot of money, and you got to ground your account because you're going to get margin called on opening because the volatility is going to be too much on that account. and the smaller position we've got is 0.01. Look, to be honest, we've got a micro now on the NAS, bring it out on, we haven't got it yet, but bring it out on the Dow, what data when it's done. And so it gives guys with smaller accounts to do the Dow. But even on the Dow, instead of being 34,000, it's 3,100. So it's still not going to be incy-wincy, you know what I mean? But those sort of basics, we need to understand the maths and repeat it a few times till you get it. Because I'm guaranteed a lot of trades are operating blind, not knowing these basic arithmetic, and they're either going too fast or too slow because they don't understand it. And if it's too slow, they don't make the money they should have done, or too fast and they're losing money which they didn't understand. You understand? You with me? Very important. So moving averages are above the white window bar, not candlesticks. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Robert. I'm no IT expert. I always make this joke. Google ain't going to make me chairman of the board of their IT section anytime soon, or this company or whatever. I'm not sure what that is. Go to technical support or go. Clinton, he's doing platform training tonight. He is very good. He's really tech expert. He's streets ahead of myself. When you go there, it's on a Zoom. He'll quickly go through it. So if I have any do IT problems or something like that, I give him a quick call. He sorts it in 2 minutes. Oh, he's very good. Clinton Krug, he does the platform training. He's very good at that. Recording of this one. Recording of how to operate platform, how to all that sort of thing is on your LMS. It's 2-3-1 videos. If you want to record in the trading room, on the portal, on social media, on the YouTube. You see, you've got to be honest with yourself, admit your strengths and weaknesses. IT and me, you know, I'm not that jacked. Okay, so if you want a recording of this, each trading room recording is on the portal. Go to the menu, scroll down to social media, and there is on YouTube. And I put the date on it. So it'll say 9:30, 14th of the 02, 4 o'clock, 12th of the 02. So you can see what add a date in there or whatever. Good. Okay, guys, it's getting near to the bewitching hour. We haven't got any trades out now, so we'll just let it run. Happens sometimes. Often we do get trades. We get several. We've got a good track record. Make it a habit of coming here. Once you got those basics, we come out a lot of good trades in here, and then you get it. Because what comes out here, I post the office. They put a nice little banner with it. That takes time. Then they post it out everyone else. You're getting the trades fresh off the press here. So by the time, you know, we're getting at this price here to sell it, by the time they're getting it, it's either a sell limit order or they're chasing it because the price hopefully moves in the right direction. Not always, you get the idea, but get it fresh off the press here. But like I say, I just want to get you au fait with some basics so we've got a chance to do it. And where we're going, hope if you want to do the buy stop, sell stop, straddle trade for the CPI, join me at 3. I'll go over it again to make sure the newer guys there up to stage, not you guys, but refresher you, but completely new will coming in at 3 because it's advertised quite a bit, and then get it ready for 6:30. Okay. Okay, Tian, sorry, we're just about to close off. Start up at 9, closing at 11, but I'm glad you made it. If you've been before, fair enough. If you haven't, just want to mention we're doing the CPI straddle trade. So if you want to get involved with that one, join me at 3 o'clock on this particular Zoom ID. Go through the straddle trade mechanics again, ready for the 3:30 release of the data. Okay, all good? Happy? I'll catch you then at 3 o'clock this afternoon, 3 till 4:30, not 5:30, 3 till 4:30. And if you like it and get positive feedback from you guys, we'll make a habit of doing it on the CPI and the non-farms going forward. Okay. Any question before we close up? Are you happy, Etienne? You're all clear? You're all clear, Eugene? Osborne, all good? Buckley, good stuff. All good, thanks. Thanks, good sight, good stuff. Okay, guys, yeah, well, there it is. See you later. Cheers. Thanks.